Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and Iron here from the Block Runner MetaZone, Rovi, and Mscribe, and we got some DMT action to discuss.
So much action, dude. It's actually...
We're super busy, dude.
Yeah, there's DMT oozing out our pores, out of our ear sockets, our nose sockets. There's a lot of DMT, a lot of digital substance emerging, right?
Right.
Hint, hint. So let's talk about it, dude. So we had the Royals Mint. It's quite the spectacle, quite the 3-week event from like a testing phase, community testing.
Felt like a year, but yes.
To like an actual week-long mint, the first of its kind. The first PvP Blockpad experience on Mscribe was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
If you guys are there, you know.
There's a lot of ups and downs on that one.
Yeah, if you weren't there, if you missed it, it was actually like pretty well documented on our channel. Like, you just got to go back a few videos and relive that experience. But here we are. The Royals are out. They're fully on chain. They're actually totally viewable, renderable on Mscribe now.
That's right.
They're trading on Magic Eden. So it's like people are asking, what's next? Right? Mscribe is a platform. It's not like a, what do you call it? It's not a Cisco thong song, right? It's not a one-hit wonder.
It's definitely not a thong song. No,
that's like that's your big thing, right? It's like, who the hell wants to be Cisco?
Nobody.
You want to be Beyonce or like I don't know, what's
Eminem. Nothing but hits, dude.
Fucking Eminem, dude. Whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, you want to just make hit after hit after hit after hit. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder, right?
That's right.
So we got a couple of hits. You know, Nat Cats, Royals.
Yeah.
Nat Frogs are doing its thing, churning along. Natalia. There's a lot of hits out there in the DMT space, but a lot more creators want to do their stuff. So this is what we're going to talk about.
So the Royals, apparently, it seems it's up 69% in the last day. Sweeps of 50 floors and 20 grails in the last hour.
Yeah, people saw the opportunity, right? Like the floor price, not just for the Royals, for a lot of ordinals, have been just kind of like tanking over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, man, there's some grails at like fucking tremendous values. So somebody or some group of people went out there and seized that opportunity. What do you know? Only green thing really in ordinals at the moment. So this is good. This is good bullish momentum. But the thing we wanted to kind of like talk about, I guess after this, a little reminder.
Yeah.
By the time this video is posted, we'll probably actively be in a Twitter space.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
In real time. So if you could join us, join us.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as soon as this posted, if you see this, we're in the middle of a Twitter space.
Oh, it's just starting.
It's just starting.
So if you're early to these videos, we encourage you to go on X, find
Twitter,
the Block Runners Twitter account, right?
That's right, yeah.
Because we don't do these very often. Maybe not as often as we should. I don't know.
It's tough, man. It's a lot of energy extracted from these Twitter spaces.
We did one last night, too, with the Bitmap Emporium community.
That's right, yeah.
It was great. You know, we like it, you guys. We want to talk to as many people as we can. Yeah. Fortunately, we didn't get to like do any Q&A on that one, but yeah, if you guys want to come on, I think top end, hour and a half, 2 hours max. Maybe, I don't know.
60 minutes, dude.
Okay, we might cut it off earlier. But if you have any questions or anything is, really urgent, you need to let us know about it. This is the medium to do that.
Now's the time. Yeah, so Twitter space, and here's a message from Danny. I want to read this to you guys. Collectors are patient and strategic in their purchases, with a long-term view focusing on the enduring value of their collections. In contrast, flippers focus on quick profits.
Correct.
Leading them to buy and sell items more rapidly. The short-term focus requires lowering prices to facilitate faster sales. As a result, long-term collectors can take advantage of the price reductions.
Exactly. That's what we just saw. Or we're seeing right now with Royals, right?
Right.
Long-term collectors are swooping in, seizing the opportunity, right?
Right. Allowing them to acquire valuable items at favorable prices by simply waiting.
Yeah, this is a critical, thing I think people need to, naturally learn on their own when you get involved into, investing or entertainment in these markets.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this whole short-term action, it's typically a recipe for getting burnt in most cases, because it's really impossible to kind of predict where markets move on a short-term horizon. It's almost random.
This happens across the board, all of them.
For all asset sectors.
All assets, Bored Apes, Node Monks, everybody.
Yeah, tokens, stocks, everything.
Stocks as well, yeah.
So it's better to identify things you have real conviction in. actually be like a real player within that like space of conviction and like focus on the long-term horizon.
Yeah.
And yeah, DMT clearly has a lot of that in store, right? There's a lot of long-term implication here.
Yeah. Point to me another framework that points to block data to generate substance.
There isn't one.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you simply believe in that as like something fundamental to like as far as like a value contribution to the space, then all you got to do is wait. It's a really easy thing.
It's the easiest, but simultaneously the hardest.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, because you gotta wait. Man, what is it? The fucking marshmallow thing?
Yeah.
Or like at the Tom Brady speech, everyone's out there, on the beach eating pancakes or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
You gotta watch that Tom
You don't
Brady
want to go to the
speech.
beach and you don't want to eat pancakes. That's the message.
You want to show up 6 a.m. to the field with your fucking cleats on.
Yes.
Your pads.
Every day.
And you're sweating your ass off while everyone else is just gorging themselves with pancakes, dude.
Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah. So Danny Yang with the sage wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of sage wisdom, everyone needs to claim their DMT Mcrown because there's several of these projects that want to utilize the actual holders of Mcrown, right? All the old stuff, the redacted tests, like all that's deprecated, old.
Yeah.
Right? But if you hold one of those old assets, you are on the whitelist to claim one of those. There's about 4,000 of you, 4,500. And so far, we've had 2,800, 2,900 claimed.
Okay.
So there's about 1,500 more people out there.
Yeah, so nudge your neighbors, let your friends know if they were around during the testing phase, they had their redacted crowns. As of right now, it's still open indefinitely, but that could always come to an end. So
yeah,
you definitely don't want to miss that window.
Yeah.
Just because simply you didn't know what was happening, you didn't pay attention to the announcements and such. So.
Yeah, it's already been over a week. So
yeah,
it's not going to last forever just because there's other resources that are required.
Yeah, and like you're saying, new projects on the horizon, so snapshots will be taken very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you want to participate or be part of like the initiation phase for these new UNATs deployments,
So how soon are these snapshots going to be taken, Iman? Well, as soon as Monday, because projects are going to be launching next week.
That's a good point. Well, probably before Monday, but
yeah,
Monday. So let's take a look. So what's coming up, dude?
All right, upcoming launch, Blockpad launches. We got Natimated Wizards on June 17th. We got NatDogoo on the 19th, and we got Take a Bit
on the 20th.
Yes.
So this is it. This is going to be like a persistent format, I think, for us. Like every week, we'll have like a new tranche of creators using the Blockpad.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how it was designed. This was not a one-off event.
Yeah.
It's a tool. It's a platform for people to, again, leverage the privilege authority built into the TAP protocol so that you can now create your own controlled mints, right? However you want. So you can have phases. You could do fully open mints, but like you have like mint limits per wallet.
That's right.
Whatever. All these are it's very flexible, this platform, right? So
yeah, and if you're a creator, you don't need to charge if you don't want to, right?
Yeah, for as a matter of fact, I think NatDogoo here has like 3 phases that are free. So we're going to go into that here in a little bit. So this is it. If you guys are inclined to put these on your calendar, so let's talk about each of these individually for a second.
Yes, Natimated Wizards is up first.
So this is a partnership. I don't know if we want to like listen to the music or not, but this is On One Force, Natimated Wizards. So what's unique about this collection?
So they're announcing a partnership with
On One Force.
Interesting. The future of cross-chain storytelling.
135,000 followers, right? So
damn.
So it's good to see like DMT projects like getting interest from like the broader ordinals and NFT communities, right? It's pretty cool. And that was from our perspective, that was kind of obvious. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're saying, there's some pretty interesting stuff happening. So
look at that, Natjik, dude.
Yeah, Natjik. What a great fucking slogan.
It is.
Yeah, bringing Natjik to Bitcoin, dude.
Yeah. So
what do they look like?
So let me just type in. Let's start with like 100,000 block, and then you can see animations here. That's cool.
So if you can't quickly explain for somebody who's never seen like this happen before, like why are you typing in a number?
Yeah. So basically, this is based on the framework of DMT, which is digital matter theory, and it's basically pointing to block data to generate what you're seeing here.
Yeah.
An animated wizard.
Yeah, so typically unique assets like on Ethereum and in ordinals, like what determines the outcome of like whenever you push a buy now button on some interface, whether it's OpenSea or whatever, it's all in the back end. It's not really, it's arbitrary, right?
Yeah.
The selection process of like what you've just minted,
Yeah.
it's never been rooted to anything. So that is the premise behind non-arbitrary tokens, right? For the first time when you issue these unique assets, it's rooted to something on chain, like the data specifically on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So there's a whole damn framework, there's a playlist on our channel where you can go down the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's been many months in development. So these are the first projects putting that into actual applicable use, right?
Yeah. So basically, this is a script, and someone designed the script to animate, and one of the traits is an animation. And then you can just kind of flip through the different permutations.
Yep.
And obviously, because this is deployed on a particular element, which is a pattern on Bitcoin, not all blocks are going to count here, right? I think the collection size is about 10K, not arbitrarily, and
somewhere around there.
Yeah, and then the occurrences of these traits are dependent on the patterns on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so so you could just kind of flip through like examples of what it's going to look like here.
Yeah, so you can go to Mscribe. You can go back to the Mcrown page on Mscribe just so you can get an idea. So this is what the interface is going to look like come launch day.
Right.
There's depending on the pattern again is what populates this mint map, right? These blocks are would have block heights within, the Bitcoin blockchain history.
Yeah, so if I can zoom in here, you can see how this block number is vastly different than this block number, even though they're roughly next to each other, right?
Yeah.
And so the pattern that this particular Mcrown, which is the pattern is corn, that's the name of the pattern. Well, that occurs on specific block heights, right? And so those block heights are roughly, there's 10,000 of them, and so it occurs 10,000 times. So it's non-arbitrary.
Exactly. So it's simply that. So come minting day, you're going to identify this ticker on Mscribe, land on this mint map, and there's going to be other people joining you in this multiplayer shared PvP environment. You're going to see them waddling around. It's going to be weird if this is your first time. You've definitely never seen anything like it. And you simply have to do is pick whatever block height interests you for whatever reason, because it varies from project to project how these creators like determine their unique non-arbitrary token output, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But it is all rooted in the data, so each block has their own unique set of information, therefore the content ends up unique, right?
Yeah, so now we're looking at NatDogoo, and this is the Git book. And so
this one's on the 19th.
Yeah, this one comes with a little history, dude.
Some deep history. We're talking
Super
like
deep.
like 10,000 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It draws inspiration from dogu and updates them to contemporary tastes.
So they have an original project made in 2022. Look, those 3D models here.
Right.
So this, I think, is the first phase. If you actually have one of these, you'll have entrance into the phase 1 portion of this whitelist. There it is on OpenSea.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is cool. This is so you can keep going down here. It has its own pattern set on the left here, the Git book.
Where's dogu?
Yeah, here it is. This is demonstrating what we just talked about exactly.
Yeah.
Each block has its own unique character, right?
Yeah, and the pattern is BD within the bits field as a hexadecimal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now we got Tickabit here. And so Tickabit, there's 6,048 UNATs generated by Bitcoin using digital matter theory, interactive art, PFP, functions as a clock. So this one's definitely cool because it's something that we haven't seen before. And there's like an example of what it actually looks like. All right.
I guess that's what the watch face looks like. But we have some interesting, I guess, theories or concepts or how this can be, I guess, like pushed forward into the future. So let's see what's actually being done.
All right. Let me switch to the next one. And here we go.
Yeah. So you see there's like a prevalent theme between all three of these collections, right? Again, it's all reliant on block data. That is like the new thing, the new vertical here being
that's right
tampered with.
Yeah, so this is as soon as you mint this, you're going to get one of these like watch faces, and on if you click on traits here, you'll be able to see like the different like how all this kind of meshes together with different traits.
Yeah.
Right, and so like for example, I have here, if you read this, it's redacted. So the outer circle type is determined by some element here. In the block, the value is taken to select one of these types of other outer circles. So you click none, you can see like one of the attributes goes away. And so when you mint this, you're going to get a completely unique watch face.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something we haven't seen before.
No, we were typically used to seeing people experiment with like, profile pictures.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's this, whether it's an animal or some kind of humanoid, whatever.
Yeah.
There's different permutations of such, but yeah, seeing an actual like wearable that is now uniquely generated per block and stuff, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. And, we're metaverse guys. We like to think about like how all these things can potentially apply into the metaverse. And
yeah,
I mean, wearables is a big thing. It's a big component.
It's huge. Yeah.
A big component to like your metaverse identity and existence and stuff. So, this has angles stretching even into that, right? And then we went so far as to think maybe one day, there's other projects in the DMT ecosystem, things like Nat diamonds,
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, like digital commodities that are generated from like the framework. They could be potentially applied to assets like this to outfit them and almost imbue them with illustrious properties, right?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, so a little feedback from Tickabit, like you could block drop a version of this, not this one, but block drop a version of this to NatCat holders or what's that project called? The Diamond?
Nat diamonds?
Nat diamonds.
Yeah.
And you could display that Nat diamond or NatCat within this square. Now all of a sudden you have your own, watch face with your own asset embedded within it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the script would call the other script and generate the NatCat or the Nat diamond within the watch face itself. And then you could go crazy. It's like in a particular trait, like you could put diamonds in each of these little squares.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
And you can like,
and there's rarities to those diamonds and such. So therefore, you're kind of creating DMT projects, DMT assets, making them composable, right? Through the inner workings of
that's so cool,
like ordinals, right? Parent, child, these things are possible, right?
Dude.
But it's obviously still very theoretical in its current form.
You can absolutely do it.
Well, I mean, then let's do it. That's what I mean.
Dude, take a bit.
Yeah.
Right, we need to do this. We need to block drop these to NatCat holders, and then the watch face, the entire face could be a NatCat.
I mean, it reminds me of those like little Mickey Mouse watches I used to wear.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the metaverse, we could have this as like a wearable.
Absolutely.
Like on your avatar.
Yeah. No.
And like it could be like a hologram, like in your avatar, instead of just like this little thing, because nobody's gonna see it, right?
Yeah.
But it could just be like a hologram on the wrist.
Correct. Yeah, and like I guess a little bit more detail, but what's actually being displayed on this watch face, because it is unique in itself, right? It's not like it displays time, but
so it has UTC block, and then this block here, 840,000. It was mined on the 20th of April, right? We just saw this, right? So you can reset it to this current block height.
Yeah.
And right now, that's today's date.
And now you just have like a real time view of the mempool, essentially, right? So
exactly.
This has real utility too.
Exactly, and then with this, you could just type in any number, right? This is your favorite number. All those, all those sixes.
Certainly my favorite number.
Yeah.
All right.
And so so that block was mined on January 18th, 2021.
And there's the hash and all. Why would you want this information? It's up to the beholder, right? There's beauty in all things. So this is cool.
Yeah.
You literally have Bitcoin on your wrist.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty fucking
very cool.
Yeah, like so this can go in a lot of different directions. So it's cool just to see something being experimented with outside of just PFPs. DMT really can be applied to basically anything.
Anything.
And this is like a proof of that, right? So very cool.
All right, moving on here. All right, so going back to like Tickbit and the phases, right? As you can see here, early bird whitelist, NatCat minters and holders of Mcrown.
That's phase one.
That's phase one. And then there's 4 phases, DJ and whitelist, Nat frogs.
Yeah.
And we got OG whitelist of royals, and then bitmap, runestone, R6.
Yeah, so definitely encourage you guys to follow all these project founders, like Twitter pages, join their Discords if they have them and stuff for these details, right? Because the information, and it's going to come from Mscribe as well.
Yeah.
So follow us as well. Going back to NatDogoo, they also have phases here. Phase 1 is, it's not really broken down as far as, let's see. Phase 1 for the dogu holders, which is a free mint. And the snapshot's already concluded. Phase 2, another whitelist phase that's free to NatCat holders, royals, and OTO holders.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lottery process of some kind.
Oh, okay.
Within that phase.
That's cool.
And then the third phase is also free for a second whitelist that hasn't been like disclosed how it's going to be put together. But the fourth phase is open to the public at 0.0002 Bitcoin.
0002.
Can you do that math in your head?
What is that? 200,000 sats?
Oh, God damn it.
10 million, 1 million, 100,000. It's 20,000.
20,000 what?
Sats. Oh, I don't know.
We're looking for dollars here, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. who deals with dollars
It's
anyways,
roughly
dude?
$15 per mint, is I just according to my quick napkin math, something like that. Okay, so moving on. So the Wizards also, I don't know, did we talk about their phases? Phase 1 pricing? Phase 2 pricing?
No, we have not talked about them.
Okay, for the Natimated Wizards pricing, and remember, these prices are subject to change. There's still like few days before these actually happen. So as far as you know, phase 1 price is 0.00045, phase 2 price 0.00055, phase 3 0.00065, and then the phase 4 for public minting is 0.00075. So we're talking in the $30 to $50 ballpark range between these phases. Okay, all right. So that's it. So those are the projects coming up next week. But, I mean, what's coming up after that?
Yeah.
More stuff.
So what is this? Degen Poly?
Yeah, this is the Degen Poly. So
Degen Polys are coming to Bitcoin on DMT. Find Poly and her rarest accessories and Bitcoin blocks containing BB.
Or baby. Or just BB. I don't know. Some people call it.
Huh. That's interesting.
I mean, why not, dude? It's the BB. So if you don't understand what that means, literally in the hex field of the Bitcoin bits data field.
That's right.
If BB occurs in the hex form, that is a valid block to mint one of these Degen Polys, right?
That's right.
So this applies to all UNATs. They have their own.
So this looks like
schemes.
like a 3D asset combination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one has a blunt.
Candlestick blunt. So clearly there's a theme.
Yeah. That's cool.
Clearly there's a theme. I mean, it's Degen. It's a crypto Degen, and they're hot chicks, right? I guess they're pretty cool.
The tube top there,
and they they're very accessorized, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's move on because we got many more.
I can look at this all day, dude.
We're going to, but yeah, look at that. That one had a DMT pill.
Oh, really?
Face. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dang. Okay.
All right, Lucky Pandas as well. I feel like we've seen this artist before, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is interesting art.
Yeah. This one's coming up in a couple of weeks. All right, let's go through these a little quicker.
Okay.
We're running out of time. BTC Substance.
BTC Substance. Okay, so another like 3D object here.
Yeah, so he announced yesterday, this announcement right here that.
So it says announcing, what does that say? Vessels. A new DMT UNAT project featured on Mscribe July 1st.
Okay.
First 3D generative art on DMT UNAT. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really looking forward to him. I think he said he's interested on coming on the podcast.
Is that the Mcrown, dude?
That is the Mcrown.
Wow.
I think that's like an Easter egg trait as part of like these vessel renderings. So I don't know what the actual, but there's a lot of different on-chain data components he's leveraging in this like generative art script. So yeah, we'll get into it deeper as it gets closer. Natamon, same thing.
Natamon, yeah.
Yeah, as Natamons get closer to release, we're going to really deep dive into that one because this is a big one, right?
Yeah, so this is a game. This is not just like a art project.
Exactly, which is why we're probably going to have to spend a little bit more time dissecting it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So these are coming soon after, right?
These are not next week. Yeah.
Okay. So Limitless, we just had the Twitter space with them yesterday. Once our spiritual animals develop fully, our resident will receive a free UNAT PFP.
Yeah.
So rulers of the night, masters of culture, the essence of adaptability, guardians of the protectors of their own. Interesting.
It says drop your wallet here, dude. So,
All right. So drop your wallets.
yeah. So as these deployments get closer, I'm sure we'll get more details. But as of right now, the focus is on these 3 projects.
Yeah.
Right? And from our perspective, I mean, so this is the first time we're going to have concurrent mints on Mscribe.
I was going to say, yeah. So if we wanted to add fuel to the fire, this is definitely going to do that.
I think so. So we encourage you all. Well, I don't know if we should encourage you all, but just to like
pile in
just so we can really stress this motherfucker out.
Refresh the pages.
No, dude. Not all that. I mean, so if you're around during the Royals Mint, you know, some things went wrong in the short term, but overall things went absolutely right.
They did.
Because we completed the mint, everything worked, people got their Royals, and they're out there top 5 in the day competing in volume, right?
Yeah.
So things are happening. You know, the DMT space is growing. Right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And like I was saying earlier, we haven't been this busy as like the last couple of weeks, and it feels like we're going to get even more busier.
100%. Yeah. So we're excited to see you guys, you know, bring your creations to life on Mscribe. And we want to see this like PvP mint experience become standardized.
Yeah.
So the more deployments we get, the better. That means there's more showcase potential for more people to discover all of this stuff. It's like, man, you know, something in that little weird corner over there in Ordinals, like that's some weird new shit I've never seen before.
That's right.
That's kind of what we're gunning for, right? So the more of these, the better.
Yeah, and if you're a creator, you know how to write scripts, and you want to launch your own UNAT, definitely hit us up. Twitter, Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever. However you can find us, just send us a DM. And if we don't respond, DM us again.
Correct.
Right, we get attacked from all angles, dude.
Absolutely.
If we miss anything as far as the DMT space goes, let us know in the comment section below. And appreciate you guys for watching, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.